arms and legs off. That seemed very moderate.
They could have given us a bit of water.
Okay, right, we're going to reload. So the first thing that they were doing was they were putting a worm down there, a big corkscrew, and essentially what they're trying to do is to pull out any burning embers, anything that's left smouldering at the bottom, because they don't want it to discharge the minute they pour the next lot of gunpowder down. Once they've done that, the second step is the wet mop, and essentially this is a sheepskin dipped in water, so it's good and wet, and that is to make sure there's no glowing embers left down the barrel. They'll then have to put in a dry mop to dry that. They will then load. I wasn't watching. Okay, they will load the gun, and then the man at the back applies the match. Now, those of you that were watching earlier, matchlock muskets, everything is that match, that fuse, which has to be kept burning. That's your means of ignition. And by inserting that in a touch hole, that's what discharges the cannon. In much the same way as the musketeer, by inserting his match in the pan, is what fires the musket. So the only one with a means of ignition is the man at the back, holding the fuse, the match. So he keeps well out of the way while the other guys are scurrying around with gunpowder to load the cannon. Once it's loaded, you can see the next man moving in with a powder horn to prime. So he's putting a bit of gunpowder, fine gunpowder, down the touch hole. And before they applied the match, you may see a gunner actually put his hand over the touch hole, and that is in the course of action if a stray spark might hit the gun and discharge it early, so he just holds his hand over it to prevent that while they're waiting to discharge. So ladies and gentlemen, I've just conferred with a man that knows. The government army at the Battle of Dunkeld didn't have cannon. They were a single regiment, a single battalion of the Earl of Angus's regiment, a regiment that went on to become the Cameronians, the Cameron Rifles. But the Jacobites around the town did have cannons, because of course a month previous to the Battle of Dunkeld, the Jacobite army had broken the government army at Killiecrankie. So the government cannons, muskets, all belong to the Jacobites now. Yeah.